All right. Patreon, we have Mr. Nash Hoover for this month. And uh, I've heard from multiple people that he is a huge fan of the Thylacine. Um, so go ahead. Now. What do you know about the Thylacine that you could share?
Oh, Thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, Tasmanian wolf, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I don't know what the moment in my cryptid career was that it was like, okay, this might be my favorite. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the Tasmanian tiger, Thylacine. Um, it's my phone background. I I don't
Oh,
know.
it totally is. That's wild.
Um, I have just been obsessed with this animal. I think and it's kind of one of those ones that like it fits into cryptozoology, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's not, I guess, what you would necessarily call a cryptid, just because it was a
Right.
known animal. But I
Mm.
mean, cryptozoology is kind of anything that can't be explained by science. So if you have an animal that's supposed to be extinct and people are still seeing it, that can't be explained by science. So, I think
True.
that's kind of how it fits into the ramifications of cryptozoology. It's been one that's been at the top of my list of something that I want to do episodes for my show Chasing Legends on, and just to look at, get out there and actually look and see if I can find my own evidence of it. Um, they were declared extinct in 1936. That's when the last one died in
Okay.
the zoo in Tasmania. Was
Wow.
Benjamin was its name. It was actually locked out of its enclosure and pretty much succumbed to the elements. And
No way.
so the whole
Oh,
species was pretty much eradicated by humans. They were pretty much hunted to extinction on Tasmania, mainland Australia. They went extinct just because of when the dingo was introduced, and they had a competition for food source. Um,
jeez.
they were also, a lot of people don't talk about this, but they were also in Papua New Guinea as well.
Oh,
Thylacines were.
really?
There
Okay.
actually are sightings. It's not as much as Southern Australia and Tasmania, but there are sightings in Papua New Guinea
Oh, they're
um,
still there.
of
They gotta be
thylacines.
still there. I
So
mean,
it's
how could
it's
they?
quite a broad area that these things are seen in.
Mm.
Um, and a lot of people look at them and they think that it is a canine, or it's a tiger. They're called the Tasmanian tiger because of the stripes in their back. But they
Okay.
look very wolf-like, but they're actually a marsupial. They're more related to
Oh,
the
yeah.
kangaroo than anything else. They actually have the exterior pouch that they have, like their babies are called joeys, and they're raised and born into the pouch, and
That's wild.
um they're just so cool, and like their jaw, like their mouths are huge. I mean, they were a carnivorous marsupial. Like that's one of the reasons why they were hunted to extinction in Tasmania, was there actually was a bounty on these things, because
Oh,
all
wow.
the European settlers and whatnot came in there, and they were killing their livestock. So they pretty much put a bounty on these things, and they were just wiped out.
Mm.
Um, but the sightings still, there's people still seeing these things. And I know recently there was a lot of hype. The guy had the
Yeah, there was.
photos,
Yeah.
but it's, unfortunately they're not. I was pretty skeptical when I heard about them, even, before the release. The the big red flag for me was that he said the adults didn't have stripes, but the Joey did,
Ooh,
which
that
doesn't
seems
make
like a
any
big red
sense.
flag.
And if you look at the photo
Yeah.
of the Joey, you can tell that the stripes are actually just shadows from the leaves above it.
Oh, no.
And I get it. Dude was excited. I mean,
Yep.
I would be there too if I thought I saw something, but it definitely had a thylacine look to it, but it was just another I forget the exact
It's
name.
a weird name. It's like Pata something,
Yeah,
or I
it's
don't
it's just
know.
another marsupial, but it's a lot
Okay.
smaller. It
Okay.
still has like that longer tail, like almost like the thylacine does. Um, but yeah, it's just so wild. And I know like Forrest Galante's done like 2 expeditions on them. I know he's really big into the thylacine stuff. I know Josh Gates has done Expedition Unknown expedition looking for them.
Yep.
Um, there's the Thylacine Research Organization that's in South Australia and Tasmania. It's there's so many like positive entities that are out there trying to prove this thing, because if we can find one, we can protect it, and
True.
and
Yeah,
then we
that's
can
huge.
keep it
Yep.
from following the same fate as the rest of them. But I
Mm.
mean the whole the whole system of proving an animal extinct is so weird. It's like you don't even like there's no way you can definitively know that there's absolutely none left unless you went through with a fine tooth
that's a good
comb and
point.
walked every inch of, Tasmania and southern Australia to prove that there were none there. There's no way you can. And that's pretty much like what Forrest Galante's approach is with his show Extinct or Alive. Is it's like the way that we declare extinction is so outdated and wrong that half the time they're not. They're just
That's crazy.
we're like, screw this, we're gonna go hide deeper in the forest where you guys can't find us. And
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I hope. I hope that it is, there's a lot of pretty dense areas in Tasmania that aren't populated. I know Tasmania is, it's a smaller island, but
Okay.
it's I think that there's a lot of potential for for a small group of them that have survived. I'm hopeful. And it's funny because like the last one died in captivity in 1936, but they weren't I don't think they were actually like declared extinct until like the 80s. So it's like,
Oh, wow.
it's like why was there a 50-year gap between declaring it and not. But yeah,
That's crazy, man.
I want that's probably the one that I want so badly to still be. I mean, all of these animals that we've pretty much put into extinction due to greed and whatnot. I want all of them to still be around because it shows that it shows that nature can persevere. The Tasmanian tiger kind of fits up there with like the Zanzibar leopard, which I know they now kind of have a pretty good evidence actually from Forrest Galante that there are still Zanzibar leopards in Zanzibar.
Wow.
They have other species all over the world. I mean, I think, what do they say? It's like, I forget how many animals they usually say like a day are like extinct. But it's like
wild,
increasing. Yeah. It's going way more up recently due to like just the overpopulation and all of this stuff. They're just being wiped out because there's no food source or habitat anymore.
The Forrest Galante guy, I haven't really gotten into him at all, but I think I need to check him out. His name is coming up more and more. I've seen.
He's doing some cool stuff. I kind of came across him by accident, and when I kind of realized what he was doing, I was like, okay, like I can get behind this guy. Like he's a biologist. He's out there trying to pretty much save these animals. Like that's his whole thing, is if he can find a little bit of evidence that they're there, he can fight to have them protected. And I think they have 2 seasons, possibly 3. I'm a little behind. I've only watched the first season, but I know he does some cool stuff, and he's found and proven some pretty cool animals still are around.
Wow.
He's a pretty cool guy. I haven't yet to talk to him. I know like Alex Pedikov has spoken to him briefly.
Gotcha.
About the mountain lion stuff out east.
Oh, rocking. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, like it's Tasmanian tiger is so cool. I mean, I actually have my girlfriend got me for my birthday last year, got me a t-shirt that has a thylacine on it, and it says Thylacine, extinct 1936, and it says humans suck, or like it's something like that. It's like but yeah, I wear that shirt pretty proudly.
That's amazing.
And yeah, I've got I think I got a sticker somewhere and some other stuff. But yeah, I'm just huge on the thylacine stuff. And
there was an interesting question that came in from my buddy Mike. He was curious if you were to get to do an expedition down there to try to look for it, what kind of tools and things would you be utilizing?
So this is something that I've thought about for a long time, just because
I had a feeling.
I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So basically in my mind, I would probably do like a 2-week expedition.
Okay.
And do a week in Southern Australia, Victoria. That's kind of where a lot of like the mainland Australia sightings seem to be. And then do a week in Tasmania, and just that way giving me and my team the most time to really, see if we can find anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think we would kind of go at it with, try and get audio evidence, because I know the thylacines are supposed to have a pretty distinct kind of noise that they make. We use all of our thermal equipment, trail cameras. We would pretty much pull out all the stops that we can. I would probably invest in one of those thermal drones for that one, just because Tasmania is so densely forested. It would be. I would not. I would be more than happy to break the bank on that expedition.
That'd be wild, dude.
Just to pull out every possible tool and trick that we can to even just to see what we can find.
Yeah,
That'd
be
that's
rocking,
one I've
dude.
thought about a lot.
Why not, man? Are there any if someone wants to get deep into learning about the thylacine, are there any resources or anything that you recommend?
Wikipedia is a good one.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, just pretty much just Google it and you're gonna find tons of information.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I think it's the I think I have it. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta
no sweat.
check my bookmarks here. I have the research organization saved.
Yeah, there's a few interesting groups on Facebook about it that
the Thylacine Research Unit is actually like a group of guys that are pretty much solely dedicated. I think they were the guys that were on the Expedition Unknown episode that he went out with.
Yeah, totally.
They're a committed group of scientists, naturalists, and specialists from diverse backgrounds. Their sole goal is to prove the existence of thylacines.
That's amazing. So that you would say that's probably if you're gonna get into a Facebook group, probably stick with those guys.
Yeah, and then if you go to their website too, I know they have a lot of the evidence that I think they've gathered and a lot of very detailed information regarding the thylacine. But yeah, it's so cool. Try to find that the video footage of of Benjamin, the last one to die in captivity. There's some really cool footage of him. There's some other cool footage out there of other ones that I think a couple clips actually just came out that were found. But yeah, there's some really cool. Just look at the photos of these animals and just they're so cool. It's
a beautiful animal.
Just like that mouth, it's just so big and
crazy.
It's they just have these long, skinny snout, and then they could just open their jaws so wide.
Oh man, it's wild. Dude, Nash, you totally, I mean, the legends were true. You are very much so into the thylacine. Thank you for chatting about it. It's a good time, man. I'm gonna go and cut.